Student athletes, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying the break, staying healthy, and staying fit. This brief 30-minute presentation is a review of what we covered in our fall presentation. It deals specifically with your eligibility. We want you to be able to compete. We want you to be able to practice, all right? And so let's pay attention. Let's get through these. We do have a commitment to compliance at this institution. Everybody has a shared responsibility in compliance. Obviously, you do as a student athlete, making sure you follow the rules. I do, financial aid office does, admissions office does, upper administration does. Okay, we all have a commitment to compliance. Okay, the student athlete handbook, great resource for a variety of topics. It's on a compliance website. There's the address right there. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Promotional activities. This deals with name, image, and likeness. There's a second part of this, which is the next slide, which we'll talk about shortly, okay? But, however, right now, through this academic year, really important that we adhere to this right now, okay? This is effective right now. So, you may use your name, image, or likeness, okay, to promote your business. If you became involved in the business that's unrelated to athletics, all right, that CBU will not have any involvement with promotional activities whatsoever, okay, related to that business, unless it's part of a class project or program that's going to benefit, all the people in that class or program. Your status as a student athlete may not be referenced in that involvement. So you cannot say, hey, I'm on an ice hockey team, and therefore I'm going to promote my business because I'm a CBU ice hockey student athlete. Right? Your compensation must be at a rate that's appropriate. So you have to receive the same type of compensation as a normal student would for that, okay? If you're involved in modeling must have occurred prior to your initial full-time enrollment. That's how the rules are right now. Now, you've heard of name, image, and likeness maybe the past 2 or 3 years. It's a very hot topic. At the January NCAA convention, which is coming up, there will most likely be some changes. This, and we'll go through this shortly here, this will be effective August 1st, 2021. So right now, this will not be effective. If it's adopted, which most likely it will be at the January convention, it's not effective yet. So we still have to pertain to rules that were on the previous slide. But let's go through this just so you have an idea, all right? And once this is adopted, check your emails. I'll give you more specifics throughout the spring on this, all right? But name, image, and likeness, what is it? Okay, it allows the student athlete, it allows you to receive compensation for endorsements related to and separate from athletics. So the previous slide said you can't use your status as a student athlete to be compensated. Now what this is saying is, once this is adopted and once this goes into effect August 1st, 2021, you may use your image, name, likeness, all right? So you'll be allowed to identify yourself by a sport and by the school. Okay, can't use conference logos, CBU logos. There are certain stipulations in them. All right. So I just want you to know, name, image, and likeness will be voted on at the January NCAA convention. If it's adopted, which most likely it will be, it will go into effect August 1st, 2021. All right. So that opens up a wide variety of opportunities for you, the student athlete. I just want to give you a heads up on it, okay? Awards and benefits. You may accept an athletic scholarship. AGIA, that's what we call athletic grant and aid, athletic scholarship, it's all the same. You may receive money from parents, legal guardian. You can receive an athletic scholarship and money for working, all right? There are certain rules that apply, okay? You may not accept, because of your status as a student athlete, free or reduced housing. All right, because you can't say you have an apartment down on Magnolia Avenue, that the landlord there cannot give you reduced cost because of your status as a student athlete. All right, free meals. Okay, so you can't go into El Pollo Loco and they say, hey, great game last night. This meal's free. All right, that's an extra benefit. It will jeopardize your eligibility. Gift cards or cash. All right, so meaning somebody gives you this instead of a meal. Hey, I'm going to give you a gift card. Okay, now I'm not talking about Christmas gifts or anything like that. That's a little different. or a job that requires you to do no work. So if your job is on campus is to water the front lawn, all right, out there by Magnolia Avenue, and we have automatic sprinklers, no work, can't do that, okay? If you're on a book scholarship, if you're receiving any type of book scholarship, you have to wait until the end of the semester before you can sell your books back, okay? All right? Eligibility, this is important. Breaking news, all right? Presented by the Swim and Dive Student Athletes.
In this region, we have an abundance of sunshine. All student athletes passed at least 6 hours and earned at least a 2.0 GPA last semester to be eligible for the subsequent semester. What do you see, Dr. McKenna?
Well, over here it looks like there's some clouds developing. This area needs to declare its major before its 5th full-time semester, or else it will not be able to practice and or compete. Dr. Trent, are you there?
Oh! The hazardous 40, 60, 80 storms could be developing unless the following academic conditions occur. Prior to his or her 3rd year of collegiate enrollment, needs to successfully complete at least 40% of the degree requirements in his or her degree program. For those entering their 4th year, must complete 60%, and those entering their 5th year of collegiate enrollment must successfully complete 80% of their degree requirements.
And remember, folks, you have to be enrolled full-time, 12 hours to practice and compete, and for those on athletic scholarship, to keep that scholarship.
And remember, you are to act with honesty and integrity in your educational pursuits.
Be sure to follow all CBU academic policies.
Let's maintain academic integrity.
Lance up!
To practice and compete, 40, 60, 80, it must be full-time, 12 units or more. Don't forget to claim a major for your 5th semester. 40, 60, 80, you'll make sure you are eligible.
Okay, you guys got that? So there's certain eligibility requirements. We want you to be able to practice. We want you to be able to compete, all right? How do you become immediately ineligible, which we don't want to happen, all right? If you drop below full-time enrollment, which is 12 hours, grad students have a different rule. Whatever their full-time enrollment is there, it might be 9, might be 8, all right? If you drop below a 2.0 GPA, if you don't have a program of study, an academic major going into your 5th semester, all right? We talked about the 40, 60, 80, okay, our student athletes previously did. Or if you accept an impermissible benefit, which is a violation. All these things will make you immediately ineligible. Again, we don't want you to be ineligible. We want you to be able to compete in practice, okay? All right, baseball eligibility, baseball student athletes. This is specifically only for baseball student athletes. Only a baseball rule, it's an NCAA rule. If you're ineligible going into the fall term, you're ineligible for the entire academic year, all right? So you're going to need to get well. If you're ineligible at the end of this coming spring term, you're going to need to get well over the summer so you're eligible going into fall. Again, if you're not eligible going into fall term, you're ineligible the entire academic year, all right? So just keep that in mind, okay? Here we go. Outside competition, also known as unattached competition. It deals mostly with men's cross country, women's cross country, men's track, women's track, wrestling, men's swim and dive, women's swim and dive, okay? Those individual sports. So, which means that you can compete by yourself, not on a team, at another venue, but you have to pay your own way there. You have to pay your own admission fees, your own transportation, your lodging, meals, things like that, all right? It's called competing unattached. There is a document that needs to be completed. Your coach has that document. I also have that document, so you know. Accountable athletically related activities. We call them CARA, accountable athletically related activities, all right? The whole intent of this is so you, as a student athlete, you have an opportunity to study and have a life outside of athletics, all right? Back in the day, when I was you, it was unlimited. We could have practiced 6 hours a day if we wanted to, all right? Now, it isn't. We'll talk about the hours in a moment. What counts? Anything that's required by your coach. Meetings, practices, okay, including strength and conditioning coach. Competition, game, practice film. These all competition game counts as 3 hours no matter what. What doesn't count study hall, these kind of meetings, compliance meetings, work with strength and conditioning coach if you request it. It has to be truly voluntary, all right? So when you're in season, championship season, and right now because of COVID, since we didn't have any competition in the fall, for all intents and purposes, all sports are in their championship season spring, all right, for the most part, okay? 20 hours a week, so you have to have 1 day off a week. Normally it's a Sunday, all right, but it has to be 1 day off a week. 4 hours of Kara, maximum a day. Competition counts as 3 hours no matter how long it takes for the competition. It takes half an hour, takes 6 hours, it all counts as 3 hours, competition only. You may not miss class or practice, that's an NCAA rule. So if I have a class that ends at 3 o'clock and my practice starts at 2:30, I have to stay at class till 3 o'clock, okay? All right? Out of season, which really doesn't pertain to us right now because of COVID. If it did, it's 8 hours a week, 2 days off. You may not miss class or practice the same, all right? All in season, championship season, non-championship season, we have a Kara log that's generated through ARMS, our database, all right? It's emailed to the student athlete to verify that yes, we practice this many hours a week, all right? Here's an example, because I get this question often. All right, and this is last year's model, all right? So that's why the dates are a little different, but it's the same premise. Okay, so on the 18th, this Sunday, here's Sunday, the team's off, okay? Practice, 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 compete, okay? Practice, compete, practice, compete, and then you're off. So you say, well, where's my day off in a week? Well, obviously, here's a day off for this week. Here's the day off for this week right here. 1 day off a week, so yes, you can actually go 12 straight days of Kara, okay? All right? Employment. It is permissible for you to be employed. You actually have to do the work, okay? You have to get paid the going rate. You can't get paid higher because you're a student athlete, all right? And the business that you're working for, they can't promote you to promote their business because you're a student athlete. All right. There's a form that we use. I have that form. Your coach has access to that form also. Right. Let's go on our financial aid. If you have any questions regarding financial aid, whether you're on scholarship or non-scholarship, it doesn't really matter. When you go to the financial aid office, or if you're going to email somebody in financial aid, we have liaisons in our financial aid office. We want you to use them. They understand NCAA. All right. And so you want to use them. So you want to use Sandy, Frazier, or Daly Rhodes. All right, see Sandy or Daly only. Daly deals with cheer, dance, golf, men's, women's golf, softball, stunt, women's volleyball. Sandy deals with baseball, men's, women's basketball, men's, women's cross country and track and field, men's, women's soccer, men's, women's swim and dive, men's, women's water polo, and wrestling. All right, so Daly or Sandy. So when you go to the front window, or if you go to the front window, you only want to ask for Sandy or Daly. All right, if you email them, Sandy, Frazier, or Daly Rhodes, okay? Amateurism. You're not eligible if you take pay for competing in your sport. As an intercollegiate student athlete, you are an amateur, all right? Or if you played on a professional team, you use your skill for pay in any way, all right? Always check before you play on a sport that's on a team or individually that's not a CBU one, all right? We talked about outside competition earlier. It falls hand in hand with that, all right? Academic misconduct. We don't want you to be involved in academic misconduct. You don't want to get in front of the Dean of Students. What is academic misconduct? Here's the bylaw, 14021 definition of it. But here's a great definition right here from the NCAA.
It's important to review your institution's academic misconduct policy or ask your academic counselor. Examples may include copying someone's paper or copying straight from a source without giving them credit, otherwise known as plagiarism, cheating on a test or assignment, working as a group when you should do the assignment individually, letting someone complete your work for you. Your school. Your school has its own process for investigating and assigning penalties for academic misconduct. The NCAA. If academic misconduct involves certain factors, it could become an NCAA violation, and there could possibly be additional penalties that affect you. Your school has its own process and penalties that it will assign to you. Look at your institution's academic misconduct policy online or ask your campus or athletics academic advisor to help explain the policy and penalties to you. In some cases, where the academic misconduct is also an NCAA violation, you will have to go through student-athlete reinstatement. This is the process that reinstates your eligibility for competition. The penalty starts with permanent ineligibility. There can also be long-term consequences that would affect professional sports evaluation, graduate school, and future employers. Report the incident to the appropriate individual according to your school's policy. If you are not sure who that is, ask your campus or athletics academic advisor.
Okay, so again, guys, you do not want to get in front of student conduct. Make sure you do your own work. Okay, do your own work. All right. Still, as it sounds, you as a student athlete, it's impermissible for you to bet on a sport that the NCAA sponsors. All right. Football season, can't bet on football. You say, well, CBU doesn't sponsor football. Correct, we don't. However, the NCAA sponsors football. All right. Not only pertains to you, but it pertains to anybody who has a direct association with intercollegiate athletics. Myself, right? Dr. Ellis, our president. Ken Dake is our vice president. All right. People in financial aid. Okay. So it involves everybody. Anytime you give something to try to get something, it's a violation. All right. So violations include accepting bet or placing bet on anything of value. All right. Providing inside information. What does that mean specifically? I'm on an ice hockey team. Somebody comes up to me and says, hey, how's your goalie doing? I saw that he was injured last game. And you say, well, he's really hobbling. He might still start. All right. That's providing inside information. It is impermissible. It is a violation. All right. So don't get caught up on it. You don't know what that person's using that information for. All right. Could be your roommate. You don't want to do that. All right. NCAA penalties for a student athlete. First offense, you're ineligible for 1 year and you lose 1 season of competition. Second offense, you're burnt toast. Okay. All right. So examples, fantasy leagues, Super Bowl pools, NCAA tournament pools, brackets, FanDuel, United Games, DraftKings. All right. All that deals with sports wagering. Sexual harassment. As the department and the campus frowns heavily on sexual harassment, sexual assault. Okay, you don't want to get involved in that. Okay, so you guys understand it? Sexual harassment, sexual assault not only comes in that form also, but it comes in forms of jokes. All right, saying something, doing something, touching somebody. All right, looking at somebody a certain way. All right, no means no. Doesn't mean come back later and try again. It just means no. All right, sexual assault, sexual harassment can go from male to female, female to male, male to male, female to female, student to professor, professor to student, administrator to student, student athlete to administrator. All right, all sorts of different varieties. All right, if you feel that you've been sexually harassed, take it to we have our Title IX Bethany Scott. All right, in her office, you can take it to an athletics administrator. All right, so get it dealt with. Don't let it go. Do not let that go. All right, hazing. Just as sexual harassment, sexual assault, athletics department frowns heavily on hazing. Some people call it initiation. Some people call it the rite of passage. Okay, hazing is illegal. It is wrong. It's forcing people to do something basically that they don't want to do. There's a definition of it right there. We talked more explicitly about it back in the fall. Okay, drug and alcohol policy. We do drug testing here. There's 2 types, NCAA testing and CBU testing. We test in the same manner by producing a urine specimen. And there's a witnesser watching you produce that specimen. Uncomfortable for some, if not most people. All right. So, and the NCAA testing, they will say, hey, send us your rosters. We don't know who's being tested. They'll end up contacting us, and they'll say, okay, we're going to test these people, and then you have to get to the testing site, all right? Same deal as it was back in the fall. All right, CBU testing, very similar situation. All right, if there's a group or a person or a group of people that there's reasonable cause to test, then we'll test those individuals, all right? The testing policy is located in the Student Athlete Handbook. If you have any questions, you can contact me. I'll be glad to help you out with them. if you're on any type of medication that might be banned by the NCAA, make sure your athletic trainer knows that so they can put that in your file, okay? All right, grievance procedures. Valid grievance issues, physical abuse, all right? Breaking university, conference, or NCAA rules, hazing, sexual assault, or harassment, okay? Coach's behaviors in opposition with athletics department mission statement was honor Christ through excellence in athletics, right? These are all valid grievance procedures, okay? You can bring those grievance procedures to the athletics administration. You can bring them to me. You can bring Rachel Keys, our senior women administrator. You can bring them to our director of athletics, Mr. Ronald Prettyman, all right? Those are valid. Invalid grievance issues. The coach doesn't play me enough, all right? The coach yells at me, all right? Teammates don't like me. My scholarship's not high enough. You have any issues with these, take them to your coach, all right? But understand, some of this might be self-brought. Okay, travel. CBU campus policy. If you're an injured student athlete, which you have no way in the world to be able to compete that day, and if you're going to be missing classes, you can't travel, all right? Now, I'm not talking about you have a strained hammy, and you can still compete. Okay, I'm just talking about if you're in a full body cast, you can't miss class to travel. Okay, exit interviews. You'll get these. Those people that have exhausted their eligibility, you'll get these at the conclusion of your season. You'll receive an email. It's SurveyMonkey. We ask you to complete those. Average time to complete is about 7 minutes. It provides us valuable information for helping those people coming up from behind you have a better experience. 3, 4, 5 years ago, student athletes did this, helped you have a better experience, okay? So we ask you to complete that. Notification of transfer. If for some whatever reason you need to transfer out of CBU, right? There's a process for that. It's called notification of transfer. My first question, if you come to me, my first question to you is going to be, have you met with your coach, all right? And the answer should be yes, I have, because as soon as you leave my office or contact me, I'm going to contact the coach just to make sure, hey, did you meet with the coach? All right, because we want to help you facilitate and navigate the transfer rules. Okay, so notification of transfer. These items right here, and we're not going to go through these. We went back through them in the fall. They're in your student athlete handbook. They may or may not be provided. All right, so just be aware of that. Any academic service will still be there for you. All right, but notification of transfer, again, if you want to transfer out, not a problem. See me, there's a process for that. All right, email me and I'll forward it on. Emails, consistently check your email. What's consistent? Every day, all right, twice a day. I might be sending you information, especially with name, image, and likeness, okay, coming up this spring, and other people might be sending you information also, okay? SAC, we have a Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Each sports program has representatives that are on a Student Athlete Advisory Committee, all right? They're the conduit between athletics, administration, and the student athletes, all right? If you don't know who your student athlete representative is, you should know, talk to your coach at a team meeting or whatever, where while you're stretching as a group, ask, who's my representative, all right? The infamous red cup. The infamous red cup. We've gone through this before in the fall. Remember? You're at some event. You have the red cup. Somebody snaps a shot of the red cup. They don't know what's in the red cup. It could be Gatorade. It could be water. It could be alcohol, which shouldn't be, all right? Now you're going to have to defend yourself, okay? Chewy, what's in the red cup? I can't understand you, man. Quit mumbling. Even Chewy has the red cup. So, be careful what you post, all right? That's the first part of it. Be careful what you post. Secondly is when you post something, it's on there forever, all right? And you say, well, hey, I don't care what the coaches think. I don't care what athletics administration thinks. Well, your future employer might care about that, all right? So just be careful, all right? I term it mass production. Are you contributing in being mass producer, or are you self-destructing? Mass production, okay? We have a counseling center on campus. It's across the street on Magnolia Avenue. We want you to get help. If you need help, get help. If you think you need help, get help, all right? Of course, you can come to any athletics administrator, all right? We will most likely refer you to the counseling center. Take advantage of it. It doesn't cost you anything. Here's the event center. This is where my office is right here. This is Monroe Avenue. So we have softball and baseball right here. You cross the street and the counseling center is right there. They will keep things in confidence for you, all right, and with you. Hopefully you take care of it, okay? Lastly, I hope you have a great spring. I hope you stay healthy, get healthy. I hope you have just a tremendous experience. We're here to help you. And always remember, Lance up. Thank you.